and these close family ties with the reviled enemy rankled with a significant proportion of the British public. Around this time, other hereditary European sovereigns were being deposed at an alarming rate, including another of George's cousins, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. A terrible fate awaited him, as he and his family would eventually be assassinated in an orgy of revolutionary zeal in 1918. George soon realized that, in order to prevent a similar fate befalling him, something had to be done, and fast. Eventually, in 1917, he hit on a solution to the problem. Displaying a keen survival instinct, which would continue to be a defining characteristic of the British monarchy to this day, George set about Anglicizing his family. The only way to disassociate himself from his German ancestry, he decided, was to shed the family surname of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha in favour of one that would be more pleasing to the British ear. After considering and dismissing a number of possibilities, including Tudor, Stuart, Plantagenet, York, and Lancaster, George and his advisers finally settled on the perfect dynastic surname for the British royal family. By royal proclamation on the 17th of July, 1917, the House of Windsor was born. An uncommon marriage. George did not stop there. Having successfully rebranded his branch of the family tree, this politically savvy king introduced yet another innovation which would further bolster his British credentials. He decided to break with tradition and allow his children to marry into British commoner or non-royal families. Up to now, in order to strengthen their ties with their European neighbours, it had been the Hanoverian habit to marry their children off to scions of other continental royal families. But now, George's offspring were free to choose a spouse from the sons and daughters of British aristocratic clans. One of the first members of the royal family to take advantage of the opportunity to introduce some new blood into the lineage was George's second son, Prince Albert, the Duke of York, known to all as Bertie. After a 2-year courtship, during which he twice refused his proposals of marriage, Bertie finally became engaged to Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon in January 1923. When the wedding of Lady Elizabeth, a daughter of the Scottish Earl of Strathmore, and the Duke of York took place in Westminster Abbey on the 26th of April of the same year, the union was welcomed by an enthusiastic British public. Crowds lined the streets to cheer the newlyweds as they emerged from the Abbey, and large numbers congregated in front of Buckingham Palace to witness the couple's brief appearance on the balcony. Evidence, indeed, that the British public's love affair with the royal family had been rekindled. As far as George V was concerned, it was mission accomplished. The birth of a princess. After their high-profile nuptials, Bertie and Elizabeth would undoubtedly have preferred a peaceful start to their married life, but their royal status meant that, during the first few years at least, they were kept busy with a number of official visits abroad, no doubt calculated to capitalize on their popularity. Then, after 2 years spent devoting themselves to their royal duties, the Duchess of York was delighted to discover, in the summer of 1925, that she was pregnant with the couple's first child. Although the pregnancy was relatively uneventful, the birth proved to be difficult. Complications arose during the labour, which had begun a few days prematurely. To the relief of all concerned, the Duchess was finally delivered of a healthy daughter at 2:40 a.m. on the 21st of April 1926, at the couple's home at 17 Bruton Street, Mayfair. The newspapers of the time stated, somewhat mysteriously, that the Duchess was obliged to undergo a certain line of treatment, thought to be a euphemism for the procedure now known as a caesarean section. When news of the safe arrival of their first granddaughter reached Buckingham Palace by telegram a little while later, King George V and his wife, Queen Mary, were overjoyed. They visited the newest addition to their family the following day, and the Queen wrote in her diary, "Such a relief and joy. Saw the baby, who was a little darling, with a lovely complexion and pretty..."